Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. As you can see, today I'm alone, and that is because I have finally decided that I want to share my story with you all. I have done a lot of praying and pondering, and I've decided that it's the right time to share it, and if it can help anyone out there, I'd love to share my story. So this is one of the most important and significant times of my life, and so I don't share it with you lightly, but I found that it's time that I want to share it, so let's get into it. So to start off, I was in high school. I was 16 and I met this guy and I thought I was in love. I now realize that I really didn't know him well enough. We started dating and I turned 17 and I ended up getting pregnant. So it was really hard on me when we broke up. I wasn't expecting it, but I ended up going through pregnancy alone, which was really hard on me. But I had the support of my parents and my family and my church as well. If you don't know, I was raised part of the LDS church. It was taboo in our church and kind of the culture of where I lived. I was in Utah, which is a very LDS community. So yeah, I was very worried about judgment and I was worried about going out into public and even going to church. But I actually had a very supportive church community, and my bishop, who is like the leader of the church, he was very supportive. He helped me get into counseling so that I could figure out what I wanted to do with my baby, which I'll get into. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I wanted the best for my child. I knew that his future was in my hands. I'm gonna cry, but I knew that his whole future was in my hands, and I did not take that lightly. That was a huge deal to me, and I didn't want to make the wrong decision. I wanted him to have the best life possible. So I considered adoption, which adoption is something that is a blessing in my life. I know it can be a blessing in so many people's lives because I have 2 siblings that are adopted, and I have a lot of respect for mothers that choose adoption. I have a lot of respect for the whole process of adoption, and I knew that was an option, and so that was something that I was considering because I knew that I'd probably be a single parent. I knew that I'd be doing it alone and that I'd be a single parent. I also knew that I had the support of my parents, but I was considering, would this baby feel supported with just a single mother? So that was something that weighed very heavy on me, and I was thinking about it throughout my whole pregnancy, and I was constantly praying about it every single day and night. I was praying about what to do, what was the answer. I was just hoping that maybe God would just tell me what to do, and yeah, I was just hoping he'd tell me, but I knew that I had to make the decision, and it was just really heavy on me, and I didn't want to be selfish at all. And so yeah, I went through the pregnancy. I kept my health really well. I went on walks daily. I was eating healthy. I cut off soda in all of my diet, and I was just thinking about this baby constantly, and I wanted the best for him. One day I finally decided that I wanted to parent. I had been considering adoptive parents, like parents that wanted to adopt. It never just felt right. It never felt right to me. But the day I decided I wanted to parent, everything just fell into place. It just felt right. It felt like it was meant to be. I didn't really have anything that I needed to be a mom or for a baby. I didn't have anything at all. But the second that I said I wanted to parent and the news got out, all of a sudden all this baby stuff, diapers started showing up at our door, and I kind of had made this decision later on in my pregnancy, closer to when he was coming. And so I had all this stuff, and I had everything I needed when he was here, and it was like a miracle, and I knew it was meant to be. My community and like my church community all came together and made sure I had everything that I needed for the time that the baby was here. That is another story of its own. I love telling my birth story because it's kind of crazy, but it's pretty awesome. I love it. So yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff to make sure that my health was like as good as it could be for the baby. I took birthing classes. They're called Bradley classes. It was a natural birthing class. I did a lot of preparatory work, and I wanted to be as prepared as possible. I wanted this baby to come into this world in the best way possible. I knew that if I wanted to parent, that I wanted to do a natural birth. So I decided to do that, and I stayed at my house and I did my birth in my house. On a Thursday, I woke up one morning and my water had broke and I thought that I peed the bed, and I went on through the whole day thinking that I just was constantly peeing, or that I had peed in the morning. And but yeah, later on I told my midwife and she was like, that's not normal, I think your water broke. And that was the next day. It was a Friday, and so she was like, if you don't have your baby by tomorrow, you're gonna have to be induced. So the next day on Saturday, I was walking around all of Target and my grandma came over and she pushed some pressure points on my feet, took a nap, and I woke up and I was having contractions and it was pretty painful, and I was kind of freaked out, and I thought it was the beginning of the birth, and I was like, if it gets any worse than this, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. I don't know if I can handle this. But I was actually towards the end of it, and I was at an 8. I don't know if you know what that means, but 10 is in the end. So yeah, I was actually just 2 hours away from giving birth. I went into my parents' bathroom and I got in the tub because that takes off pressure. And then just 2 hours later, he was born, and it was just so special and such an amazing experience. And yeah, it just made that whole pregnancy that was pretty hard, it made it all worth it. But yeah, I struggled through the pregnancy. I was up late every night crying and bawling, especially because I had to do it alone, and that was really hard on me. And my mom stayed up with me every night and just held me and helped me through it. But that was a really hard time in my life. After he was born, it was just such an amazing experience being able to hold my baby and see him and be with him, and I felt a whole new love that I've never felt before, and it was just such an amazing experience. And my whole family, and especially me, felt like this missing piece had just finally come into this world that we needed, and he brought so much love and so much connection and happiness and brightness, and it was just amazing. And yeah, that first week with him was so amazing. And one funny part was it took me a week to name him, because I knew that would be his name for the rest of his life. And I wanted it to be something good, something that he wouldn't be embarrassed about. I just wanted him to have a really good name. And so for a whole week, we called him all kinds of funny names. We called him Squeaky Squirmy, because he'd squeak all the time, and he was so squirmy and always moving, and he's still that way. He's always constantly moving and constantly busy, and it's just so funny to see how his little baby personality has stayed the same as how he is now. So I finally decided on his name after a week, and I named him Jonah Anderson Larson. I just really like that name, especially Anderson. I named him after my great-grandpa, who I really loved. So just a little after a week, as I was still healing and still trying to recover from pregnancy and getting used to this new life as a mom and just trying to adjust to it all, I was faced with a custody battle. That was a lot on me. Yeah, we got through it. Me and Jonah have had a lot of struggles, a lot of ups and downs. I wouldn't change any of it for anything in the world. I am so thankful for him and everything he's brought to my life, and I just love him so much, and I know he was meant to be mine. But yeah, this was the most important time in my life and the biggest decision I will ever make besides figuring out who I'm gonna marry. That's probably number 2. But yeah, we had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of struggles and a lot of good times. Yeah, I wouldn't change any of it for anything, and I'm so grateful for all of it, and I'm so grateful for him. So after being pulled into a custody battle, that was really, really hard on me. I had to fight for my son. It was a really low point in my life, and I really, really struggled through it. I was depressed. I got really low. I feel like it was probably the same feeling as being alone through a pregnancy. They were both really hard. But yeah, I feel like I'm stronger now because of it. I feel like I've gone through some pretty hard things that have made me more confident, made me stronger. It's made me a better mother. And people have asked me if I would go back and change anything. And honestly, no, I wouldn't. I got Jonah out of it, and I wouldn't be who I am today, which I've come so far. I have become so confident and so strong, and I know what I'm capable of, and I wouldn't trade any of it but I am honestly thankful for the experience and everything that I've been through, because I wouldn't be who I am without it. And I wouldn't be as confident as I am, and it's definitely made me a better mother. I honestly would not recommend this journey to anyone. I wouldn't recommend teen pregnancy to anyone. It was a hard path, and it wasn't glamorous at all. I know that it was my path that I was supposed to go on. And I'm thankful for things like adoption for people who can't be a single mom and can't go down the path that I've gone down. That is such a big blessing for so many people who can't be a single parent like me and do find themselves in a teen pregnancy. Yeah, it's such an amazing option, and it's blessed my life with my siblings and so many other people's lives that I know it can be such an amazing blessing. But I definitely wouldn't recommend teen pregnancy to anyone, so don't idolize that. Fast forward 3 years later, and after kind of some struggles and a lot of ups and downs, I finally met Trey Nelson. And you want to come over?
Yeah, I'll come over. Hi, guys.
Trey has been a huge blessing in me and Jonah's life, and he's like a dad. You're not just like a dad, you're a dad to Jonah. And he helps me parent him every day, and he's been such a blessing in our lives.
He is an amazing little kid. If you guys don't know, you just see little smidgets, but he is so awesome. And I'm so grateful to be with Izzy and him and be able to go on their path with them and just make it our path.
I'm so thankful that he's here. That whole time after having Jonah, I was praying for a man like him, and I know that God answered my prayers with him.
I ain't perfect, though. I want you to know that.
He's perfect for me. I love him so much. But I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions after this.
Definitely. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of talk for sure.
So comment down below if you guys have any more questions. We're definitely going to be making another video answering some of your questions about how we parent together. It's kind of like a stepfather situation, and we'll just answer all your questions about how our situation is.
Yeah, and we are so grateful to be able to share this with all you guys and have all your support and be having you guys help us just with everything. You guys are amazing, and we're so glad to be able to connect with you all.
We're so thankful for all your support of me and Jonah. You've welcomed us into the Nelsons have welcomed us into the family, and they are so supportive of us, and you guys are also supportive of us, and it's such an amazing thing in our lives.
So if you guys would like to hear more, just hang around, and there'll be more to come, and we're just thankful, as we've said. So we'll just talk to you guys on another note.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.